Okay, so today I want to show you how to launch a projectile from a cannon or a cannon-like thing. It's not going to be any real representation of a cannon. So first, make a sphere to be the base of the cannon. Put that at, and put it at like about 3, and so put it up 1.5. And then position it right over here. So that's at 5, -2. All right. And then create a cylinder and put it as a child of the sphere. Reset all of its stuff. That's pretty big. Interesting. And then make it 45-degree angle. Okay. 45 on that axis. 0.2, 0.2, 0.2. 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. Okay. And then let's move it out a little bit. So up and then over. There. All right. Now let's move this sphere back a little bit. And move the camera up a little bit. Sphere, cylinder. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now let's put a projectile spawn point. Create an empty child. And we want to locate that right at the edge, right at the end of that. Oh, that was an accident. I want to move this spawn point right out to here. 1. And it looks like if y is green, the y direction is green and the x direction is red, that the blue direction is z and it's sticking out forward or backward. So actually what we want to do is rotate it around the y-axis. No. Which one's y? Around the x-axis, 90 degrees. Okay. We want the blue to be sticking straight out the tip of the cylinder. That's somewhat important. And now let's make a projectile. 3D object, sphere, and bullet. Call it bullet. And let's reset its position. Let's make it disabled. And then let's add a rigid body. This is so it'll respond to gravity. Okay, that's pretty good. We've got pretty much everything we need to pull this off now. So I'm going to rename the cylinder to be turret and the sphere to be cannon. And let's go to the turret and let's add a script here. Launch projectile. And double click it to edit it. First, let's make it respond to a command to fire. So void update if input dot get button down fire 1, then shoot. Oh, no, not that. Shoot. And then let's make void shoot debug.log shot and test that out. Okay, so if I hit the fire key, you can see down here it says shot. That worked. Now we'll stop that and go back to this script. Now that we know that's working, what we really want to do is instantiate a bullet. So game object instantiate, and then we have to get the object called bullet. So I'm going to call it bullet, but it's not going to work right yet because we need public game object bullet. Now, if we go to the turret and then drag this here, then it's going to instantiate one of those every time we push the fire button. Let's see if that works. Looks like it did. So you can see over here, bullet clone. But why isn't it showing up here? Well, it's because I disabled it so that it would be out of our way. There's two other ways. There's two ways to do this. One is pretty simple. Game object clone equals that, and then clone.enable set active true. Let's see if that does the trick. Yeah, it's instantiating it, but it's instantiating it in the wrong spot. It's probably just putting it at like 0, 0. Oh, that's kind of funny. I can't believe they stack like that. That's entertaining. Well, now I've got a fun bouncy balls toy here. Cool. Alright. Enough fun with that. We told it to instantiate, but we didn't tell it where to instantiate. So what we need to do is say spawn point. We don't have access to that yet, so let's undo that and say public transform spawn point. And let's go back over here, and it'll show up momentarily. And we'll drag our spawn point in there. Then spawn point dot position. Okay, it says there's an error. Okay, let's see. This says we figured this out. It just needed me to add this other argument parameter, spawn point.rotation. So now that those are added, the game object should clone in the correct place. Yeah, it comes out right there. You can see that it's really not launching much, though. It's just instantiating it. And if you do two at the same time, it'll instantiate them both in the same position, and that's why they seem to be launching out. But really, that's just because physics doesn't allow them to be in the same position and they're big banging out. So let's figure out how to add force to these to get them really flying. Clone.add force. Oh, .add attached. Okay, wait. We've got to go get the rigid body from this game object. Let's see. Get component, rigid body. Spelled it wrong. And then dot add force. Now, So we go clone rigid body, add force, and what we could do, if it were in a certain rotation and angle, is we could say vector 3 forward times the speed we want the bullet to go. So let's make a public float bullet speed. Because that's saying go forward out of the gun at this speed. However, because it's not rotated into what's known as world coordinates, we have to add this other step here. And that is, we have to take this from the local coordinate system, and I'll show you what I mean. This, you can see, is local here. We have to take this coordinate system where spawn point, of the spawn point, where that's the z direction, and then we have to convert it so that that same direction is represented in this coordinate system, or the global or world coordinate system. And to do that, we say spawn point dot transform point. Say it transforms a position from local space to world space. There we go. Let's see what happens. Let's give it some more velocity here. Bullet speed is 0, so let's give it 100. Let's give it 1,000. Yeah, that's launching out of there at a decent angle. Here we go. And let's take the camera and zoom out a bit. Not that. Yep, looks pretty good. You can see on here, they're launching out and gravity's affecting them, and it looks just like what I expected. So there you go. That's how to make a projectile with a really simple cannon.